Hey guys, it's Mario Glitchy 9, and I'm gonna talk about planets, and moons, and asteroids, and minor planets, and space stuff, you know? Anyway, let's talk about Venus. Venus's distance from the Sun is 67.24 million miles. One day on Venus is 2,802 hours, or 116.5 days. And a year on Venus is 687 days, or 1.9 years. Venus's force of gravity is 8.87 meters per second squared. Its diameter is 4,212.3 miles. Its mass is 6.39 times 10 to the 23rd power kilograms, and its temperature range is negative 45 degrees Fahrenheit to 872 degrees Fahrenheit. In class we talked about how Venus's temperature always stays the same because it has a greenhouse effect and it traps the heat inside. But if you get out of those clouds, then you could go down to negative 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Venus's atmosphere is made of 96.5% carbon dioxide and 3.5% nitrogen. The surface is composed of silicate rock. In class we saw how Venus could have supported life early on before the Sun was bigger, but as of now there are no aspects of life that could be on Venus at all. Alright, now for Mars. Mars is 141.6 million miles from the Sun. Its day, or period of rotation compared to Earth's, is pretty similar actually. It's 1 day, 0 hours, and 37 minutes. Mars's period of revolution compared to Earth's is 687 days, which is like 3 years. The force of gravity on Mars is 3.711 meters per second squared. The diameter is 4,212.3 miles. Its mass is 6.39 times 10 to the 23rd kilograms. Its temperature range is negative 225 degrees Fahrenheit to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. The composition of Mars's atmosphere is kind of varied. It has 95.32% carbon dioxide, 2.7% nitrogen, 1.6% argon, 0.13% oxygen, and 0.08% carbon monoxide. The composition of Mars's surface is a thick layer of oxidized iron dust and rocks of the same color. There are a lot of aspects that could support life on Mars. For example, liquid water, nutrients, and there is a magnetic field that protects from cosmic and solar radiation. Also, in Mars's atmosphere, there are minor amounts of water, nitrogen, oxide, neon, hydrogen, deuterium, oxygen, krypton, and xenon. And now for Jupiter's 4 largest moons, called Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. I don't know if I pronounced those right, but anyway, let's move on. All the moons' distance from the Sun are relatively similar, give or take a few million miles. Io's distance is 484 million miles. Its force of gravity is 1.796 meters per second squared. Its diameter is 2,263.8 miles. Its mass is 8.9319 times 10 to the 22nd power kilograms. And its temperature range from low to high is negative 202 degrees Fahrenheit to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature is also pretty range, don't you think? This is due to the volcanoes that happen on Io. The temperature gets super high. The composition of the atmosphere is made up of ionized and atomic sulfur, oxygen and chlorine, atomic sodium and potassium, molecular sulfur dioxide and sulfur alone, and sodium chloride dust. Based on data from scientific computer models, Io formed a region around Jupiter where water ice was plentiful. So Io's heat, combined with the possibility that there was water on Io shortly after it was formed, could have made life possible, although Jupiter's radiation would have moved the water from the surface. The distance from the Sun to Europa is 485 miles. Its force of gravity is 1.315 meters per second squared. Its diameter is 1,939.7 miles. Its mass is 4.7998 times 10 to the 22nd kilograms, and its temperature range is about negative 370 degrees Fahrenheit to negative 210 degrees Fahrenheit. Europa's atmosphere is solely made up of oxygen, but unlike Earth's atmosphere, the oxygen in Europa's atmosphere is likely not produced biologically. Europa's atmosphere is maintained by charged particles that hit its cold surface and produce water vapor. There's also underground water, which all supports aspects of life, as well as the oxygen in the atmosphere. The distance between Ganymede and the Sun is 484.5 miles. Its force of gravity is 1.428 meters per second squared. Its diameter is 3,273.5 miles. Its mass is 1.48 times 10 to the 23rd power kilograms, and its temperature range is from negative 315 degrees Fahrenheit to negative 171 degrees Fahrenheit. In 1996, astronomers using the Hubble Space Telescope found evidence of a thin oxygen atmosphere. However, it is too thin to support life as we know it. But on the bright side, the surface is basically made of ice, and maybe that could lead to some sort of life on the moon. The final moon for Jupiter is Castillo, which is 484 miles away from the sun, similar to all the other moons. The force of gravity is 1.236 meters per second squared. The diameter is 2,995.4 miles. The mass is 1.08 times 10 to the 23rd kilograms, and the temperature range, using estimations and limited sources, is about negative 274.27 degrees Fahrenheit to negative 162.67 degrees Fahrenheit. Although thin, the atmosphere is made up of carbon dioxide. I was unable to find any sources that point toward any evidence of what makes up Castillo's surface, but it's kinda rocky. That's all I could find. One aspect that could support life on this moon is that there is water underground. Do you know what object is 0 miles from the sun? Oh, what did you think? Of course it's the sun. The sun is the star at the center of the solar system. It is made of hot plasma with internal convective motion that generates a magnetic field via a dynamo process. The sun is the most important source of energy in our solar system. That's right, everything in our solar system would freeze if it weren't for the sun. So appreciate the sun while you're still alive, will you? Here's something. The sun is also known as Sol. You can tell your friends not to stare directly at the Sol, and they'll think you're talking about something else until you explain it. Also, did you know that the sun is a nearly perfect sphere? Despite that amazing shape, here's another amazing thing. The sun accounts for 99.86% of the total mass in our solar system. Well, what about that other 0.14%? Not sure about that one. Remember learning about the life cycle of stars? Well, now you get to learn something else, because the sun is in the G-type main sequence. Also, the sun is brighter than around 85% of the stars in the Milky Way galaxy, which is a lot if you think about it. The asteroid belt. Or the minor planet belt. Or the combination of asteroids and minor planets belt. This thing is a circumstellar disk in the solar system located roughly between the orbits of the planets Mars and Jupiter. It's occupied by numerous irregularly shaped bodies called asteroids or minor planets. Something about the asteroid belt. Over 200 asteroids are known to be larger than 100 kilometers, or about 62.1371 miles. But if you divide that number by itself, you're getting between 700,000 and 1.7 million asteroids with the diameter of 1 kilometer, or about 0.621 miles, or about 3,280.84 feet, or more. The total mass of the asteroid belt is around 2.39 times 10 to the 21st power kilograms, which is not too far off from the Earth's moon's mass. The final thing I have to share for you is that there are 3 main types of asteroids. C-type, made of mostly carbon, S-type, made of mostly silicon, and M-type, made of mostly metal. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching this part of our presentation. Hope you guys enjoyed it.